The East Roast Podcast.
Are you listening? Crazy mother. Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the podcast. This is the East Roast Podcast. I'm Tony, and this is my partner, as always. He's back in town. He's been gone for, a couple, almost, it seems like 2 weeks.
It seems like a while.
That's
man.
Chris Cotton.
What's good, man? How y'all doing? Oh, just so y'all know, don't forget, nothing has changed. Subscribe, follow us, do all that. Hit the notification button. East Roast Podcast. It was Instagram, all that. What's all the stuff the kids are doing? The Facebooks. Yeah. And, Facebooks is for us, but for the kids, they like
I think somebody told me all you have to do is throw a hashtag in front of your thing, like hashtag East Road Podcast.
Yeah, let's do that.
They can find it everywhere.
Hashtag East Road Podcast.
Okay, so there you go. Whatever a hashtag is, but, that was a pound when I was and look at where we are, man.
Yeah, I think we have to address that.
I know. I think they might realize we're at a different place.
We're at Atlantic City Comedy Club.
It's going to be one of our new homes. We got the Atlantic City Comedy Club. Great club. You are going to be headlining that tonight.
Yeah, and we also had a Philly Comedy Club.
Yeah, and we're going to try to get to Philly Comedy Club. I hope next week. We'll give it a try. We'll see if we can get over there. But, we're really thankful to have these two locations. Mm-hmm. We're still going to do it at the original studio, once in a while. But, we're just, like I said, we're really thankful to be growing. We're thankful that people believe in us.
We just got to go outside, bro.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. We got to go outside every now and then.
That's right.
Ain't nothing wrong with going out. To quote a great man, Andre 3000, sometimes you got to step from behind that piano.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that make any sense? I don't know. That's from Green Light.
Man.
It's from Green Light.
You get too comfortable in the same one place. You gotta move around. So speaking of moving around, you have had. And, listen, no surprise to me, but, a lot of people that watch our show, they know who Chris Cotton is. Mm-hmm. Some of you don't. Chris Cotton is really, setting the world on fire lately, or at least in my opinion. You've been getting a lot of gigs, a lot of great gigs at some really, really premier comedy clubs. So you just came back, as I said. How long were you going? 10 days?
It's been about 10 days or so, almost a couple weeks, probably like 14 days.
Yeah.
And I've been running around. I was in Chicago, then I came New York.
Chicago, you were at the what was it?
I was at Zanies.
At the
I was at Zanies in Chicago.
That's
that was
an
fun,
iconic place, man. Yeah.
Dude, it's nice. I was downtown first. The first night I was downtown. What would they call Old Town? The old downtown, Mm-hmm. But that was nice, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people came out to that. Thank y'all for coming out.
Yeah.
That's when I made my. That was the first time on the road I ever did a thing. Like, when I sell, at the end of the show, I talk about my book and my album, which go to chriscottoncomedy.com, get the book. But I always do a thing where I say, grab the book if you want a book at the end. I have a funny way of saying it.
Yeah.
And then this time, after I told the joke, I was like, but also, if you don't want to pay for that stuff, I said, you can buy some off the baby registry. And didn't think it was going to work. Yeah. And people started buying stuff off the baby registry.
Did they really?
We got a living room full of, so I want to say thank y'all for that, man. We got a whole living room full of stuff.
No way.
Dude,
man.
For the baby. So the baby's going to come in looking snazzy.
See, you know what, dude? People are good. They really are.
Yeah.
People, if people have an opportunity, they see something that, they can, have a good time and do something like that. I mean, that's when, a lot of people are surprised at how good people are. But, you got to give people an opportunity. I mean, you were joking around, but I mean, look at what happens.
Well, it was one of those jokes. Was like, but if honest, if you want to do it,
man.
Do it. And they was like, no, what is it? And he's sitting in front of me on Amazon. It's like, let me get this, and especially the ladies. Yeah. The ladies love it because a book is for me is what is it, $15?
Yeah,
they're buying all sorts of baby stuff. They're like $30, $40, and I'm like, you could have bought the book, but they're like, but they enjoy buying this stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
Well, maybe they bought the book and I'm.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully.
Yeah. My gosh. And that baby is coming soon, man.
Oh, man. I got 2 months. The credits are rolling.
I'm
ready for playing.
I'm ready for the party, man. None of you guys are going to be invited there. Well, maybe a couple of us might be.
A couple of people might be coming.
But we're going to have a big bash for the pre-baby.
Baby Blue, man.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. That's the baby's name. That's the nickname no matter what it is.
Blue?
No, that's not the name. That's the nickname no matter what it is across the board. Because that's neutral, and it's a dope nickname. And Blue, it can feminine, male, or whatever you want.
You know what's
It's
funny,
Blue.
man? That was, and I love that name, and it flows off the tongue when you have somebody, when somebody has the nickname Blue. It's a great nickname throughout. But my wife's nickname, I gave her the nickname Blue. Obviously, she has blue eyes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
You call
yeah.
your wife?
But when we first met, it was just like that nickname that came out. And I absolutely loved it, and people love it. Blue. I mean, I love it, man. I love the name. I love the nickname. So it'll be fun, man, to be called.
Crazy because that's my wife's.
So do you know?
No, we're still not going to find out. We're not
Okay.
going to find out.
Yeah,
till
no,
the
we're
slide
not going
out.
to say anything here.
Yeah. But honestly, we really don't know though.
Yeah.
We really truly don't know. But
Yeah.
my wife's favorite color is also blue.
Blue, yeah.
And for her last birthday, one of the stones in her ring, I got switched to sapphire in the middle. She always wanted that, so I got to switch to a sapphire for her birthday.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
happy. So now she got a blue. It's blue all over the place, and she's happy.
So anyhow, then you leave Chicago. I think you might have came home for a day, right?
I came home for a few days.
Back to Philly for a couple days. I didn't even think you got another show
gigs.
in.
Yeah, I was
and
doing
then boom,
gigs.
you're in New York at another really great spot, man. Caroline's.
Yeah, I was at Caroline's, man. And I had to do my first headlining date there, and that was dope, man. That was nice. Turnout was small, but I'm cool with that. You know what's funny? A lot of people, when they do that, especially, first of all, I can't argue because just in Chicago, I had a way better turnout than I ever thought I was going to have for my first time headlining out of town. And I mean, you talking about it was half sold out the whole weekend, which any headliner will tell you out the gate, that's not what you usually
people
get.
think, when you're doing shows in New York, I mean, it's great. The city of New York is amazing, but you know what? It's just there's so many things to do there. It's hard to fill a room.
And I came
now
in
Chicago.
Right after Thanksgiving.
I've been to Chicago. I love Chicago. I know you love Chicago, and it just has that flavor where on the street during the day you don't see as many people, but at night, man, they are all out and they're just filling every place.
What I loved about Chicago was first, like I said, day one when I was there, I was downtown and so I was just walking around. Then day two till the end, I was in the suburbs. Of Chicago, which there is nowhere to walk. I mean, you got to walk. Everything's a walk. Everything. I went to the Walmart across the street, literally 20 minutes to get there. You know what I mean? Walking. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, maybe not 20. I was walking fast, because it was cold. So it was about a 10-minute walk. And everything was a little spread out, but it was fun because you know what? That day, and I've realized something, man. People in the country, like those country areas, they don't walk. They don't. When you from the city, you appreciate walking in the country more.
Oh yeah.
When you from the country, you appreciate walking in the city more. When I was it was like a highway right there, but it was like a whole bunch of stuff like strip malls. I actually enjoyed walking around. I enjoyed. It was weird. It's weird at first because cars zipping and whizzing past technically, but it was nice, man. I just kind of just walked to a whole bunch of different shoppers. I went to the movies while I was out there.
Did you?
By yourself? That's what I did. That's what I do most time when I'm
You were that guy.
Oh, dude.
Everybody in the movie theater sees that one guy coming by themselves. They're like,
I don't know why I brought a trench coat. I didn't need it, but decided to bring my trench coat,
They're either like, or they're like, that guy looks suspicious.
Can I have an empty bucket of popcorn? Why do you want an empty bucket of popcorn? Can I borrow that knife? What are you doing, sir? Now you can fill it up. Well, what did you just do?
What'd you see?
Nothing. I'm not even. What did I see when I was out there?
No, the movie.
I'm trying to think. What movie did I go see when I was? I forgot.
You probably took a nap.
No, I seen the movie. It was a good movie, man. I feel bad because I just didn't think about it.
Dude, you are just like me, man. I'm telling you. People ask me what I did yesterday, and it's almost like I got to catalog everything in my life. You know what it is? Because business is something. You ask me something business wise what I did.
Oh yeah,
and I know exactly what I did. But you know what? It's a shame. The leisure time. A lot of times it's like. It's gone from my memory. It's almost like I forgot I did these things.
It's hard to keep up with.
That's not a good thing.
It's hard to keep up with leisure, especially like my life is weird. Like it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of leisure.
Yeah.
And my work technically is leisure, so my life is just my life. Like I'm blessed to just be able to just kind of just do.
You know what? I used to travel a lot for my. I had products that I'd created and manufactured and all. So. And I used to travel a lot, and when I traveled, it was weird. It was almost like, my mind was not really working, in a way where sometimes I say to myself, like, how did I get here? It's almost like I don't even remember what I was doing.
Yeah, you don't remember getting
because
on the plane.
I don't. You did, and somehow you found everywhere you needed to go or whatever. But I think back and I'm like, obviously I was in it to do it, but I just wasn't taking any of it in. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens when you work so hard. And like currently the way you are. You actually got another big gig, to tell people about that's coming up. But when you're working as much as you are, it's funny that we kind of went into this because this is even what we're going to be talking about. But you need this, that saying, stop and smell the roses, right?
Oh, dude, I've been.
And
doing
it doesn't
that.
mean just stop and smell the roses. It means take time, actually pay attention. It's really hard to do, man. You get a call. And you're there every time. You're always there on time. You give them a great show, and then it's like, you just gotta like.
You just go back home, right?
Yeah, you go home.
But you know something? I stopped doing that. It took me years.
Oh, you've been taking in life again?
Yeah, since we've truly been doing this podcast, around this time frame we started this, and a little bit before that, I'll say, I just started really comprehending that concept of taking in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I slow down so much now. I'll do, when I got stuff to do, you look at my calendar, I try to group everything within it's like all my stuff that's running around, the adult stuff. You got to go shopping. I try to group it into like a clump of like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
Then after that, that's me. That's me taking in the world. That's me taking in, go outside. I go to, like sometimes I go to music open mics and just watch. Just to sit there and listen and see what people are trying to do, and I love the concept of just going places. One of the things I did when I was in the suburbs of Chicago was I like to go to, whenever I'm in any city, I like to find bars that play hip hop clubs or bars.
Yeah,
it trickles down in that order. I like the club more.
Yeah.
Because there's less demand on having to drink. I like more of the music than the drinking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
I'm with you there too, man. I like to see people, just kind of dancing to good music, and having fun, just
enjoying life, and I like to be in the mix of that. And I was trying to look, man, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the suburbs of Chicago got it on lock. The suburbs, they have it is sad out there in the suburbs.
The nightlife?
Oh, the nightlife, it was present.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, first of all, they cater to like the 18 to 25 range out there. So it's like, to me, it was weird. When I got to I actually found one club that wasn't too bad, but it was weird because they was like, okay, how old are you? I was like, I'm 20. I'm sorry, I'm 30 plus.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh, you 30. They was like, well, I was like, well, where's the hip hop at? They said on the second floor. I was like, oh, I'm going up there. They was like, oh yeah, that's $20. They said, but usually we don't let anybody up. And it's like, this is the first time I've ever been denied because I'm too old. We don't really because it's like 18 plus and we don't want and I was like, oh, I completely get that. If it's 18 plus and you got creepy dudes coming up. So I get that. But I also was telling, I was like, man, I'm from Philly. I just want to hear music, bro. I was like, he looked at my eyes and was like, oh, I could tell this guy's desperate to hear some rap. You know what I mean?
Do they still have 18 plus? Man, that sounds so scary, dude.
It was weird.
They had that when I was a kid, but and listen, I don't know if that was a good idea back then either. Putting 18-year-olds with
it's a catch-22 with this, in my opinion, because the one thing is the kids need somewhere to go. When you're in a rural area like that, it's either go somewhere where the fun is manufactured or create your own. Yeah. And the create your own is where most of the places have like hard drug problems. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I also realized that in the city, because in my mind I'm like, why don't they have more of this in the city? But then I get it. In the city, it's like, this is also not a good look either in the city, because it's like, you can't do the 18 plus. You got to do like 18 to 25. Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I used to go to clubs that was like in there, that was like catering to the like 18 to and up thing, and they would have like the wristbands and and I would go and I would be like, this is kind of okay. But it's like the bar area was the adults, and I would go in the bar area and just kind of look and be like, I don't know how I feel about this. Right. Yeah. I don't know. And it is a very, as an adult, you kind of see the pit, the holes in it. And as the club even does, but you just want somewhere for these kids to go. Yeah. So you're saying that you really couldn't find many hip hop clubs in Chicago? Not in the suburbs. Literally, when you Google, there's 30 to 50 hip hop clubs,
but they're all in the city,
30 to 40 miles away.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, I was out there. I was an hour
man.
outside of. I was an hour outside of Chicago.
Wow.
In the burbs. So I'm like, oh man, but and it's cool though because it also let me see something that I didn't think I was going to see. It was a DJ there, and I don't remember his name, but I'll give him a little bit of props because I could tell he didn't learn. Nobody taught him anything.
Yeah.
He just was doing it because he loved it, and he was trying. He was doing the best he could because the first, like I said, the second floor was for like the 18 and plus, and that floor was pretty packed.
Yeah.
I went up there. I was listening to. Then after a while, I'm like, I just gotta get away from all these kids. Then I would go to the first floors. The adults would be down there. Like so, if you brung your teenager, or whatever, you would go and hang out down where the bar is, and they would go upstairs and dance, whatever. I'm out there with them, and I'm like, this DJ isn't awful, but he's not good. But I appreciate his attempt. You know what I mean? It was a wholehearted attempt.
I feel like, that there isn't like any reason to be good as a DJ anymore, to be honest with you. And I'm not talking about, because what's your competition? It's like nobody's really stepping it up, in my opinion. I mean, I know everything has changed, but I mean, I'm talking about somebody, who can not just do, DJ work the way they do today, but go all the way back. They know exactly how to do what the old cats were doing, and actually do the two turntable style and stuff. That is dying art, man. There are not many people left that can do it.
Are we talking DJing? Because if you want to talk, I can turn that. I can switch it on a little bit.
Oh no, I mean, I love DJing.
I love DJing. Now, listen, now, DJ, I'm a hip hop fan, and DJing is very important. And the storytelling aspect of it is what I love about it. When you get a DJ, you find out the way they like to tell a story through those turntables. When you figure out, this DJ likes to do it through the beat. This DJ likes to actually use the things that they're saying in the songs. Like they're
taking verses, and those verses actually have the feel to what they're
creating, like paragraphs off of it. These dudes are writing stories up there, and I love that about DJ.
I do too, man.
This guy, he was working on one paragraph.
Yeah,
it was sloppy, but he got through it.
I think you know what? I bet you a lot of people who, I think people took DJing in that era for granted. I think a lot of people did, and maybe I'm one of those people too. Because now that it's gone, I mean, I miss it like you wouldn't believe, dude. I would actually go and pay to go see an old school DJ just spin and do his thing.
Years
or her thing,
like a few years ago, DJ A-List, she's a dope DJ. But it's a few good DJs, especially she's from Detroit. Actually, she moved to Philly. But I do seek out some DJs and go listen to them. But Jess Blaze, I got to see him. He was the dude who created a lot of music in late '90s, early 2000s. With the Rockefeller and all that, he was like their main producer / DJ. And he was, I'm sitting there listening to him, and the place is not packed. Me and my wife literally couldn't stop dancing.
Yeah, man.
It was some of the best DJing because his style wasn't actually a style I liked of DJing.
Right.
But his storytelling abilities through the music was so good. People don't get that. Like, DJ's job is not to play the stuff you like. That's the problem with DJs.
Yeah.
They try to play the stuff you like.
They have their own style. And they're not just mixing
out.
up. It's not just like randomly mixing up stuff and going like, well, that sounds good. I mean, it's really well thought out. You know what I mean? It's like, and you think about like, especially in those days, like in the early days, these guys were like picking, albums that they were their mom and dad's albums. They weren't current music. So it's pretty wild, that they were taking music that, a lot of people just never heard, before. And you got to really love music to go, you know what, I want to check out my mom and dad's music, and maybe I can make that sound like something that I would want to hear.
And it's
great.
It's a thing where you're given, you're born into a gift that you don't understand. And could you imagine being one of the pioneers where you're sitting there and you're like, and your parents like, why are you ruining my vinyl? I don't know.
I know.
I don't know, but something inside of me is telling me that I need to ruin this vinyl by playing it way too much, playing it way too aggressive, playing it way too fast,
because
messing with the speeds.
There really was nowhere to go with it. I mean, at least no one knew that there was anywhere to go with it, so they were just doing it. And, the way kids play, whatever they play today, like maybe, the video games and shit like that, they do it. But, there are kids out there that are making millions playing video games. It's insane. I mean, I wouldn't suggest that you'd try to find that as a career because, the chances of being, What was the thing you said? If it's like your kid being the best javelin,
pole vaulters,
yeah, the
man.
best pole vaulter.
I appreciate
right?
the foot, but it sucks, man.
Right, there's maybe 2 pole vaulters that are making money, and the rest of them are all broke.
The rest of them are living through life.
Yeah,
Like,
that's kind of the same thing with this.
Maybe you should at least get a part time at Wawa. You know what I mean? Like,
it's kind of the same thing with the video game guys. I mean, the idea that you're going to get rich playing video games is pretty.
It's funny because we're laughing, but it is a booming industry, but that we just don't know about.
But that is what DJing had. The obstacle it had, in front of it was. And to be honest with you, DJing is still like that too. I mean, when you think about thousands, maybe I don't know how many, tens of thousands of DJs that were in that era. I mean, you can maybe mention 5, 6.
I'm trying to start comprehending that. Like sometimes with comedy, and going back to what we initially talked about, like that's why to me all this is kind of connected.
Mm-hmm.
With music and everything, but with comedy, I'm starting to learn for people. There's a ton of headliners. Every week there's a comic somewhere doing something. There's also a ton of features, even more hosts, and there's way more open micers.
Yeah.
And for people to start appreciating what you're doing enough to say, no, we have to set you apart, and we have to move you forward. We have to set you apart. We have to make sure people come see you. And for people to make that investment in you, or a club to say, yeah, man, we would like you to come, whether they reach out to you or you reach out to them, and they say, we agree with that. You do our audience does need to hear the words you have to say out of your mouth. I'm also technically in the beginning portion of my career, in this realm of it. You know what I mean, the headliner realm, and to do 2 of the bigger clubs out the gate of my opening, I would say this to my friend, man, it's kind of overwhelming in a great way. Where I'm thinking like, this is my lowest point, and it's higher than people's highest point.
Yeah. It's hard for people. It's hard for you to see what you project out in the world. The world sees that. All of us, it's hard for us to explain, are we doing the right thing? How are people, receiving us and stuff like that? I mean, I know how people receive you. Mm-hmm. I see people after your show, how they are toward you. I mean, just, people who are friends of mine who haven't had an opportunity to meet you yet and watch this, they're always like, I'd really like to meet Chris. Mm-hmm. You have that. But one of the great things that you have, too, is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, is you are willing to entertain all. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't need the big venue. So I almost feel like, as you're getting these big venues, I can tell that you're still going to come back and you're going to do the Philly Comedy Club. You're going to do the Atlantic City Comedy Club.
I love it. Honestly, it's weird. I like them. I like them. I like them. Some people would say I didn't get it from some people. Some comics, they like, man, I did a few open mics and I started open for this person. So they used to doing venues with a whole bunch of people. I didn't. I
feel like the best comics. I feel like the best comics are the ones that you can pay $100 for a ticket at one place and then find out that they're building their craft at some of the smaller clubs. And you can get in there for $15 and see amazing headliners. But you understand why. I mean, being above comedy because, it makes you forget where you come from. You're not funny anymore. You know what I mean? You can only be funny unless you stay in the world. You talked about that once before where, you lived in New York for a while there when you were working, writing and stuff with Comedy Central. And New York kind of just wasn't your vibe. Not that you love not that you don't love New York, but you needed to come back home once in a while, and that's something you didn't have an opportunity to do.
And
so
I would say, like, with this and thing, and going back to doing the smaller venues, or you know what I mean, and one of this goes, of course, back on track to what we're going to lead into later, but. One of my good friends, Hannibal, man, I remember when I used to open for him, and sometimes we used to go places, whatever. He would be like, yo, especially when he came to Philly most of the time. Hannibal Buress. Hannibal, when he used to come to Philly, he used to be like, he'll hit me up out of nowhere. Yo, Chris, I'm in Philly. You want to come down? I'm doing a show here. I'm like, I'll slide through and hang out. After the show, he'd be like, yo, where can we go? I was like, what you want to do? You want a club or something? He's like, nah, let's go to any mics, anything? And he's sitting there asking, that taught me a really quick lesson, real fast, early, where he was like, this dude at the time, he was definitely a headliner. He was also starting to do a lot of bigger things. It was like the Oddball Fest era when he just started doing a lot of that stuff. So he was blowing up to the point where most people downtown knew who he was. He was like, let's go to an open mic. And he would go. I would bring him in. They'd be like, I'd be like, yo, it's me and Hannibal here. They'd be like, okay, Chris, when they would have his face on. Hannibal they would literally just go pale. Like, when do y'all want to go? I'm like, I don't know. I just go, one, me, him. And they'd be like, all right, cool. And to me, I'm just like, oh, this is a comic coming up to do another set.
Yeah.
But something in that registered later on where I realized now I show up to spots in Philly and they're like, Chris, when do you want to? And I'm like, to them, I'm their Hannibal. Which is, even though to me, I am nowhere near Hannibal. And I mean, the pockets alone, you know what I mean? But it comes down to like, they don't care about that.
Yeah.
They just know that joke wise and work and that level, they appreciate you coming because you do the work.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me say, oh, man, there's no such thing. Big venue, small venue. It's a crowd. Are the people there to laugh? Yeah. Are there moments where confidence-wise and ego-wise, you want the sellout? You want the big crowd? Yeah. But most days, if on a Tuesday, I'm cool with 20 people listening to this awful joke I wrote in the shower.
Yeah.
But what makes it so
you
good,
know
you got
what?
paid
So
for
like
that,
what you
too.
just said about Hannibal, that's what makes him a great comic, because he's doing it right. He is definitely blowing up, and you are too, but let's not act like you don't have it going on, but still,
I'm proud that for handshakes and people I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a long road. The idea, you do want to see, it's like you want to look out once in a while and see, wow, I'm on a path here. But then you want to also, again, like I said, you got to build on your craft. One of the really wild things that, a lot of times comics lose is their every man or woman, vibe.
Except for Bill Murray. That's why everybody loves Bill Murray.
Yeah. Oh, he totally does. Yeah.
Honestly, that's one of those things where I noticed that as a kid. I was like, I love Bill Murray, and I don't even know why.
I mean, I don't want to throw an amazing comic under the bus, but one that comes to mind for me is like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is kind of he was, and then it seems like he's not anymore.
And what I loved about Eddie though, when he knew he wasn't, he stopped. He stopped doing comedy because he knew he wasn't.
He got out of the clubs.
Because he had nothing. The thing is,
you're right. You know what? Maybe he does.
And that's respect for the craft, and that's why Eddie is a legend for the reason he is. Because some people are like, man, he's Jim Brown. He's Jim Brown.
Yeah.
He's Jim Brown of comedy. And since if Jim Brown knew when he was done, let me stop because I can't give you the level I want because I know I just don't have that grind in me.
Yeah.
And he knew it. He said, I'm not an everyman anymore. I'm too rich. I'm too
That's
famous.
Why I said, like, I get the sense that
forever.
Eddie's jokes wouldn't really, what can Eddie really say that relates to us?
Well, he's coming back, and and you know what? I'm happy about it because he came back, and I watched the Dolomite movie that he put out, the Dolomite, and I see it. He's trying to become an everyman again.
Yeah.
But if you watch his in getting coffee in cars, whatever Seinfeld.
Yeah.
If you watch that, he talks about how he was thinking about coming back, and he's like, because I'm ready to get out of my bubble again. And he knew that he got in a bubble.
Really? Yeah, that's good. So it wasn't like I just felt that. It was
he purposely
how he
knew.
felt it too,
he said, I got in a bubble because I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to, not the stand up. He loved stand up.
Yeah.
But he didn't. You have to be very aware of.
He didn't have the same thing to offer, and if you don't have the same thing to offer, you got to go find it.
You back off.
I wonder. You know who was hilarious too, man, was his brother, dude.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy, man.
When Charlie went down, I heard a lot of people. A lot of people love Charlie.
Yeah, man. And it's a shame. Charlie died just when. People really were like, I don't know if it was because he was in the shadow of his brother. People just didn't realize how funny he was. He was funny in a completely different way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Eddie made you laugh.
Yeah.
Charlie let you laugh.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? That's the difference.
That's a great way.
But that's dope, man. But I'm sorry. Yeah, let's not to get to completely off topic because that's what we do here on the East Coast Podcast.
Yeah.
Last thing coming up, and I don't want to slight it because I brought him up, and I don't want to slight what he's doing. The Isola. Isola Fest. Yeah. It's so hard for me to say.
Yeah.
Isola Fest, which is what I'm doing next week.
And that's with Hannibal.
And that's with Hannibal in Mississippi, which is funny because Mississippi is also the home. It's his mother's hometown, but it's also the home of my favorite rapper, which is Big Crit.
Oh, yeah?
I was listening to him on the way. And Big Crit, I mean, it seems like I've listened to so much Big Crit. I mean, he got, 12 albums out? I listened to so much Big Crit that I literally feel like I'm part from Mississippi myself, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm just happy that I could go there. Hey, Lord Willing, if you home, Big Crit, if you home, come check out a show. You know what I mean? Man. Come hang out. It's going to be dope, man. It's like a music festival.
Do you know where it's going to be? So do you know where exactly it's going to be, or it's all building now?
This is hilarious. Okay, now because if you go on the isolafest.com,
how do you spell it?
I'm about to spell it ISOLA. It's like cola, but with is cola. So Isola. Yeah. So that's probably how you say it, Isola. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I keep saying Isola because I'm an idiot. But but it's spelled like Isola. Mm-hmm. So but in that part of Mississippi, there's literally almost nothing there. It's a country. It's a country, but it's stuff around, but it ain't like city-ish, right? But Hannibal's cousin, this is literally, if you go on isolafest.com, it's all written out there, and it's like a countdown thing toward it. He's doing it at his cousin's
property?
No, not his property. His cousin's club that he bought. It's called Players Palace in Isola. I can't even make it. I wish I was making this up. And it's like a huge venue that his cousin made in Isola. And he's like, look, since he got that, he let him read it out for next to nothing, if anything. And he's like, look, I got that. I'm just going to throw a whole festival for 3 days. And it's bringing in a whole bunch of musicians.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
It's only 4 comics and him, so it's 5 altogether.
Yeah. So, wow,
that's
man.
Dope, man. But it's a whole bunch of music. Yo, this is literally going to be fun, man.
I got to say this, man. You know, you think about that Hannibal asked you to be part of a 5-man crew, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah, listen, I feel like
that's a big deal.
In your 18 plus 1, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Hold on. Honestly, it's the A-team if you include, this is going to sound bad, Hannibal, but you understand what I mean. It's A-team, but he's the van.
Yeah.
He's not actually Hannibal. Hannibal is somebody else. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hannibal is a different person. He's the van. Yeah. That's what he is. He's you know what I mean? So that's crazy, man. I'm
the
excited.
Van is busting through, man, and you guys are just taking a ride with him. You know?
That's the mystery machine.
That's
Which also, how many people was in the mystery machine?
Oh, man.
You had Scooby, Shaggy, Velma. What's your boy? The dude with the dude, the preppy dude.
Which one was the
Scooby,
goofy
Shaggy,
one?
Scooby, Shaggy. That was
Shaggy was the goofy one.
You had Velma,
the blonde
and the other
guy.
girl, and then the other girl too.
Yeah.
So it was 5 of them all together inside the van.
Man, you know what? I wasn't a big fan of that Scooby-Doo.
It wasn't great. The reference lended itself to me.
Yeah, it does. It works.
But you get what I'm saying, though, basically. But no, I'm excited to be part of this festival and this team of people coming together. To try
so
to
you know what? That almost sounds like something they can start to do, annually, right? I mean, is that something, or have they been doing it, or is this going to be the first one?
This is the first one.
Dude, that could be a big deal.
You know something? He's pushing it hard, and I'm hopefully knowing him and his team, they're probably going to get some press behind it. I mean, it's in Isola. There's nothing else going on in Isola. You know what I mean?
Dude, listen, don't leave me, man. Don't leave me.
I'll be back.
I'm so,
The good thing about me is I'm based out of Philly, so you know I got to come back. At least, if not just to see you, at least to see my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no, but I fully intend coming back a lot and hanging out. And the thing is, I love that I get to go to this festival, but the best part, and this sounds crazy, the best part is knowing I get to go, have fun, and then knowing I can come home.
Yeah.
And that used to be a different path. That's why now you see I'm so much happier than if you see me on podcasts in the past. I definitely was funny, and not a question, but it was an undertone of me knowing I can't go home at that moment. You know what I mean? I had to stay in New York. I had to do this. To be able to go back to my home Philly, go back there, and just after this, when you walk into an open mic.
Yeah.
And you see the comics just super duper motivated. You know what I mean? Like, I've only been back in Philly since May. And since May, I've watched comics grow because they see somebody around who they like, oh, I know he is from here, but I didn't know he actually came home. And then they seen from that to watch him, he developed jokes.
Yeah.
Since I've been home in May, I think I wrote about 40 new minutes of material. So
I can see it. I know that you're one of the guys that inspire, others. I mean, I think, like I said, a lot of times I could tell you don't feel it, but I mean, everybody around you feels it, and they all know that, that you got something special going on. And it reminds these guys that, you're not doing it for nothing, you're doing it, when you really truly make something a career and you take it as seriously as you do, those opportunities are going to come up, and you just, you stay, humble like you are. And I mean, I'm proud of you, bro. I mean, I'm really proud of you. I think, if you don't mind, you want to try to do another one after this? The only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm going to warn them that we're going to be wearing the same clothes on the next one. So
there might possibly be a part two, and by possibly mean there's definitely going to be a part two.
Cool.
All right, let's go.
Let's close out,
get a drink,
one.
and then do the thing. All right, cool. So we got to do the closing stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll you're the guest today.
Oh,
I mean, we'll do it nice and light today.
So,
it's like
you got to ask me what is my stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know. If you like this, if you're enjoying it, I really want to make sure that you guys, know this guy's a local guy. Go by and see Chris, man. He's here at the Atlantic City Comedy Club. He's over at the Philly Comedy Club. You can see him pretty often there. And, and he's, looks like he's coming to a city near, our other fans that are outside of the area.
Fingers crossed. That's the plan, man. And if you want to check out where I'm at, hey, follow me at Cotton215 on everything. Cotton, COTTON. The number is 215. And other than that,
East Rose Podcast.
Don't forget the notification button.
That's right.
Don't leave I see you trying to leave without doing it. Hit the notification button, subscribe, tell a friend. Don't hide it. Tell somebody. It's Christmas. Give us as a gift. That's what you can do. Like, what did you give me this year?
Yeah.
You know how you used to give people, you donate something in somebody's name? Just be like, hey, what I got you this year? And give them a little card.
It's like a McDonald's gift certificate.
Oh,
remember those?
Awful. I would cuss you out so much. I don't think you take it and you like,
listen.
Ugh.
I think that because we don't really have a topic for the next one, but again, we're going to be dressed the same way because we're going to do it right after this. But let's do some awful Christmas things, Christmas gifts, and stuff like that. Dude, let's do it, man.
All right, man. All right. Thank y'all, man. Talk to you.
East Rose Podcast. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.
Have you ever crazy mother?
The East Rose Podcast.
Are you listening? Crazy mother. Damn.